Hey guys, welcome to the X-Ring. On today's episode, we have a really cool rifle. This is one that was used in John Wick 2 when he was doing the AR scenes, and that is the AR-15, specifically the TR-1 by Taran Tactical Innovations. So it's outfitted with a lot of the Bravo Company manufacturing, the BCM stock. It has the BCM charging handle. You guys can also see the Trijicon RMR on a 45-degree offset with the Trijicon scope, the 1:6 by 24. With the adjustable light gathering for the inside for the chevron. It is on top of a LaRue quick release cantilever mount. Has the BCM, the KMR A13 handguard, which has the key mod and then Picatinny up on top. You'll see the muzzle brake here. This is their ultra lightweight model. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check it. We're gonna see how well this thing shoots. You'll also see a titanium nitride bolt. The trigger here is unbelievably smooth. It's probably only about 2.5 pounds. But yeah, I'm looking forward to shooting it. Let's see how it does on paper, and then we'll run some drills with it. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're here at 100 yards. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check this thing for group. We're gonna use my go-to ammo, the 69 grain Sierra Match King from Defender Ammunition Company. We're gonna lay down a 5-shot group real quick, see how it prints, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, so not bad. It's shooting a little bit left, but like I said, it's not tuned for this ammo. This is my ammunition, and this is what I'm used to using, so I wanted to test it with it and see how it would group. All right, guys, so I always try to give a little bit of knowledge and understanding, make it a little more informative than just going out here and shooting guns. And so now's the time to do this, because I've really never done a lot with the ARs for you guys. But, okay, so I've shot this rifle. We shot it at 100 yards. And it was pretty spot on. It was a little to the left. I'm not going to adjust it. It's not my rifle. However, let's say you have your favorite rifle and you've got a 100-yard zero on it. And right now we're at 10 yards and I need to make a critical shot right there in the tee box on that black dot. A lot of you guys might know the answer to this, but if I'm going to put one in that black dot, where do I need to aim? Do I need to aim below the dot? Do I need to aim above the dot? And that is where we're going to come into mechanical offset, okay, or your height over bore. So you've got this distance here, but we've adjusted it for a 100-yard zero. So you're actually crossing that zero path twice, okay, because it's going above your line of sight and then it's coming back into your line of sight. I'm not a big fan of the 100-yard zero. I favor a 200-yard zero on my ARs. That way I know I'm never more than 2.5 inches above or below the target, regardless of the distance. But let's say you were in your house or whatever, for whatever reason, you're in your driveway and you have a target at 10 yards and you need to engage that target with a precision shot. Where do we aim? So for the first example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim dead center of the dot, and I can guarantee you, I haven't even done this yet, the shot is going to be low. So let's go ahead and check that out. Let's see what it looks like. Stand by, let me turn this other camera on, hold on. All right, now that I've got the camera on, what we're gonna do is here at 10 yards, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna aim dead center of the black dot. Here we go. Guys, you're gonna see that's about 2.5 inches low. So if I were trying to make a critical shot on that black dot, what I'm gonna need to do at this distance, at 10 yards, I'm gonna need to aim about 2.5 inches high, 2 to 2.5 inches high. So basically it's gonna be the hairline or up in there where it meets in the forehead. Depends on the person's got hair. But what we're gonna do on this one, we're gonna aim just right there at the top of it. So if I bring the rifle up, critical shot, dead in it. And you guys can see that right there in the black dot. So always remember that for your up close distances. And the further you get away, what's gonna happen is it's gonna come back down to zero and be back on it again. So right now we are at about 2.5 inches high. Another drill I like to do is called, what we call loosely as a Navy mod drill. And that's gonna be at 25 yards. And we're gonna use a standard cardboard target like that. We've got an A zone in the center. The goal is to get 15 shots into that A zone. All right, guys, so for this exercise, you're gonna need 3 mags, 5 rounds each. You're gonna start standing, reload, 5 kneeling, reload, 5 prone. Now let's talk about our loadout on how we have our magazines. What I recommend is always having the bullets facing your backside. So when you pull it up, think of it as like a beer can. You're basically going to reach down, grab, go straight into the mag well, close your bolt, get back on target, okay? So that's the way you want to load the belt, bullets facing towards the rear. The other thing is, anytime you're loading your rifle, you always want to push, pull, then you're going to rack and ready, okay? Push, pull, rack, and ready is what you would like to do, especially if you're loading 30 out in your magazine. A lot of times you'll push it in there, you'll go to shoot, it hasn't locked into the magazine release or the mag lock, and then you're going to end up not having a feed, or the magazine's going to fall out. So what we're going to do is we'll do this drill for time. Anything, I believe, under 20 seconds, it's a good time for this. 25 yards is a great start point. Anytime you can go back to 50 or 100, you can do that and work on your skills, try to improve yourself. But 25 yards is a good place to start. We want under 20 seconds for the first time. Here we go. You'll go ahead and start with your magazine of 5. Always remember, push, pull, rack, ready. And what we're going to do is go low ready on the target. That means you can be aiming at the target, but then just drop it down. We just want to still cover that target, still keep it up with our eyes where we can come straight up on target. So here we go, first run. Let me review that. 15 shots, make sure I didn't bump it on the way up. I take that back, 1748. I thought that was a little quick. So 1748, let's go and see if we've got a clean target. So coming up on the target, you're gonna see that is a clean 15 shot, what I call a Navy mod drill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, guys, so I feel that's a really good drill, especially when you're trying to get warmed up. Yeah, you can shoot a lot faster, but remember, there is no seconds penalty if you get one out. If you get one out, it is a 0. You have to shoot it clean, 15 shots, all in the A zone. It's not too difficult to get under 15 seconds. You just have to shoot a little quicker. You'll also notice that the closer you get to the ground, the faster your cadence is going to be, because you don't want to pull one in that standing position. So you want to make sure you're on target for 5. Do your magazine change as you're moving. When you go into that kneeling position, efficiency of motion. Once you're moving, go ahead and get the magazine change done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reload, and when you're in the prone, it's much faster because you're a lot more stable. So that's a great drill. So far, I'm pretty impressed with this rifle. It moves pretty well in the hands. It feels very lightweight. Not a lot of recoil or having to do much recoil mitigation. Now remember, it is a 5.56, so I understand there's not a whole lot of kick, but we're trying to be very precise and accurate here. All right, guys, so another thing that I see a lot of newer shooters do, let's say they have an array of 3 targets and you have to double tap each target. Now you got to remember, depending on the type of competition that you're doing, if this is for competition purposes, basically you have to double tap every target. And in most like 3-gun competitions and things like that, we're not talking about real world. This is just competition based for now, okay? What you want to do is you have to shoot 2 rounds into the target anywhere, and they typically use an 18 by 18 target. A lot of outlaw matches will use these targets. As long as there's two hits anywhere, they're good to go. What I see a lot of new shooters do is this right here. Okay, now the other camera's on. What they do is this. I'm going to go from the low ready position. We're loaded, ready to go, and they'll do this. Pay attention. And that's exactly what it'll sound like. That's a 3.63, okay? So 3.63 seconds. The thing is, we're only at about 10 yards right now, and we don't have to be crazy accurate. So rather than doing the tack, 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 it's better if you can do this, all right? So here we go, low ready. So all of those are in the A zone. We'll verify it on the other one here, but the time was 2.10. And you might say, well, Ray, that's only a second and a half faster. Those seconds add up. This is one string of fire for 3 targets. Let's say you've got 15 of those. How much more time are you gonna save rather than going tack, 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 tack on the target? You're gonna start saving time over and over and again. So when you get into the competition level or even real world, if you're trying to engage multiple targets, you're gonna be much quicker Now I've got it on 1 power right now. I don't need a lot of magnification, but it's literally as fast as you can double tap, fast as you can double tap, fast as you can double tap. As long as you've got a decent brake and a decent setup, you'll get those hits just like you need. You guys will be able to check. This is first take on all of this stuff because I've got little pasties on there. You'll be able to see where I've pasted as we've went along in this video, because this is the sequence in which I'm going in. All right, guys, so to make yourself even faster, what you can do is rather than have the ta-tuck, 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 then you can just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it'll be even quicker. We'll do the timer, and here we go. So the time on that was 1:46, 1.46. So we've saved over 1.5 seconds now. Actually, it's 2 seconds because I think it was 350 or so on the first one. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and check, make sure we've got 6 impacts on these targets. So, yep, we've got 2 on that one. We've got 2 on that one. We've got 2 on that one. We've saved ourselves 2 seconds on the string of fire. And remember, this is just going to get compounded. The more stages there are, the more targets there are. So that's a good way to think of it. You have to know your limits as a shooter. If you try to do that and you're missing, and typically I'll tell you, whatever direction you're swinging, those rounds will typically swing further that direction as well. So if I was working left to right, as I get into the second, third, fourth targets, when you're first starting this off, you're going to notice more of your impacts favoring the right side. So you're going to have to squeeze your trigger a little sooner before you get onto that target than when you're in the middle of it. Otherwise, you're going to start favoring the right-hand side. All right, guys, so now we want to talk about malfunctions or malfunction drills. It's very similar to your pistol. So let's say you are firing your rifle and all of a sudden it goes click, okay? It does not go pop, it just goes click. Maybe it's a failure to extract, maybe it's a dead prime or something like that. You need to initiate the immediate action drill. An immediate action drill is going to be the very first thing. The minute it goes click, it's push, pull, rack, ready, okay? Now, a lot of this is going to be distance to target specific, because if your rifle goes down and you're really up close, then if you've got a secondary weapon, you might want to transition to that. However, if it's one of those where you've got some time or you're in competition, of course, you got to get that gun back up and running again. So what it's going to be is push, pull, rack, ready, and I'll demonstrate that for you. So what we're going to do is I am loaded, I am hot, ready to go. So let me get this angle so you can see it. Now, the minute it goes click, I'm going to go push, pull, rack, ready. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to fire 2 rounds on this target here. So it's going to look like this. Dead, push, pull, rack, ready, just like that. So that's your immediate action drill. Now, let's say that doesn't work. Let's say you have a malfunction that doesn't clear with the push, pull, rack, ready. Do not do the immediate action drill again, okay? It's probably going to cause more issues. What you're going to need to do is probably seek cover in the real world, but in competition, it is to get the gun back up and running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that malfunction up, or at least hopefully set it up. And there's a lot more involved with this, and an easy way to do this is just to put an empty round in your magazine, because you never know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the immediate action and it works, or you might have to go to remedial in case it does chamber. So once again, I need to fire 2 rounds at this target. So if it doesn't work, and I want to walk you guys through this, I'm going to try to fire 2 rounds at this target. 2, doesn't work. Finger off the trigger. Push, pull, rack, didn't work. So now what I need to do is seek cover, make myself lower or something, or in a competition setting, what I need to do now is I need to lock the bolt to the rear. So this is a remedial action drill. It is lock it to the rear. Once you do that, now you're going to rip the magazine. Now you're pushing the magazine release when you do this. Lock, rip, work at least twice, push, pull, rack, ready. So that is the remedial action drill.